There's just about nothing worse than leaving a studio session feeling like I could have accomplished more than I did. And the problem is, I often feel like I'm using this time to the best of my abilities until I learn more tips and tricks that boost my productivity, save me time, and ultimately allow me more time to create. So in this video, I want to talk about 5 tips that have made me a more efficient producer. First off, I honestly went way too long without creating presets for myself. I would think of a sound that I've used before, and I would pull up the plugin, dial in the settings as best as I could remember until I got the desired result. Now, realistically, it didn't take a ton of time to dial in that sound. It's more so the fact that I'm doing it over and over and over when I've already spent the time to dial in that sound before. So if you can start saving commonly used instrument and effects plugins in your productions, you may be surprised by how much time you save. Similarly, project templates are a game changer. You can make this as simple or as intricate as you desire, but what I prefer to do is create a project template that I start basically all of my productions with that feature commonly used MIDI tracks, audio tracks, effects settings, routing, organization, all of that, to where it's already done before I even start working on the project. If I had to go back to setting all this stuff up for every single project instead of having it done beforehand in a template like I do now, I think I might actually die. I was very close to adding organization as its own entry on this list, but if you do the project templates right, a bunch of the organization is already done for you. Here's an example of what my go-to project template in Logic looks like. You'll see in this main window that all of my tracks are grouped into track stacks, which keeps me organized, but it also makes it really easy for quick volume adjustments for an entire instrument section, or quick audio processing or routing for an entire group. Each individual track goes to the corresponding stack, and then each stack goes to my sidechain bus, which then ultimately goes to my stereo output. In the event that I want to add to this routing or adjust it any, it's super easy, but there's a good chance that this routing that I have set up on my template is going to apply to basically any project that I do. Coming in at number 3 on this list is learning key commands. I pick up new key commands to use within Logic and other projects all the time, because what I've learned is the more key commands I become familiar with, the less I'm moving my mouse around the screen, and ultimately the quicker I am to get around a certain software. I could either move my mouse up to the record button in Logic, or I could simply hit the R key to do the same thing. So these are going to vary depending on what software you're using by default, but a lot of times they're customizable. So here are the top 5 that I use in Logic Pro all the time. R to record, space to play and pause, Command C and Command V to copy and paste, Command Z and Shift Command Z to undo and redo, and last but not least, Command S to save your project. It was honestly way harder than I thought to narrow that down to only 5 key commands, so just go learn your key commands. Next on the list, I want to mention a free tool that's going to help you walk into the studio more prepared, and that is voice memos. It happens to me all the time. I think of this really cool melody or song idea when I'm out and about, and then when I get into the studio to maybe track some of it, it's gone. Like somebody met me at the door of my studio with the Men in Black mind wipe thingy. So next time you're out and about or in the car and come up with a really cool idea, just open up voice memos and sing into it, hum into it, whatever you need to do, and then maybe that'll help you get started with the project when you get back to the studio. Also, quick bonus tip that goes along with this one, if you happen to be using an iPhone and a Mac, you can open up voice memos on your Mac and literally drag that file into Logic Pro so that you can reference it easier or add effects to it, whatever you want to do. And finally, if you're worried about distractions in your studio, turn on Do Not Disturb. You can actually create a specific focus mode for your studio that's customizable. You can allow whatever notifications you want or don't want. So maybe you want to make sure that you see that text from your wife, but you don't necessarily want to see that somebody followed your Instagram. I find that implementing these things during my sessions allows me to be more productive and ultimately allows me to spend more time and energy actually creating music. If you found this video helpful, do let me know by leaving a like and leaving a comment down below. Also, if you happen to have any additional tips you'd like to see added to this list, I'd love to see those in the comments as well. Thanks for hanging out.